Welcome back. When you're injured in an accident, whether it's a car accident or some sort of injury on someone's property, the first thing you think about is getting medical care. But once those bills start piling up, you're going to wonder who's paying all of these medical bills. Well, every Friday, attorney Phil Harding from Harding & Associates joins us. And today, Phil, you're tackling a very popular viewer question. Who pays all these medical bills, right?
Right. I've been getting a lot of these questions. And we're really going to go over two different scenarios. The first one is if you're in a car and you're injured. The other one is if you're on the property of another and you're injured. And it really, both of them are kind of the same, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about important coverages for you to have. And so let's talk initially about if you're injured and you're in a car. There's different things that you need to look at. First of all, is there Medpay? And not only if you're in the car of someone else, do they have Medpay, but you may have Medpay on your own car that would travel with you.
So wherever you are, your Medpay goes with you.
Just like, remember how we talked about your UMUIN, which stands for uninsured, underinsured?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are. Same thing with Medpay. It travels with you.
Nice.
So it's good to have that Medpay. The other thing is health insurance. Now, a lot of people don't have health insurance, but your Medpay is what's known as primary. So that will cover the initial medical bills. Then your health insurance will kick in. And after health insurance, there's another thing to consider. Some people have Medicaid or Medicare. Now, if you have Medicaid or Medicare, and if you hire an attorney, it's really important to notify someone, to notify Medicaid and Medicare almost immediately about this.
Why is that so important to do it immediately?
Well, let me tell you about Medicaid. If you don't notify them within 15 days of hiring an attorney, they may not reduce the amount that they've paid out. Because if you hire an attorney at the very end, you have to pay out all these subrogations, whether to your health insurance, whether to your Medicaid or Medicare. And Medicaid has this one law in Colorado that says if you don't notify them within 15 days of hiring an attorney or even seeking out counsel, they don't have to reduce down how much you pay back. And generally, they reduce down 25%. So that's 25% that could be going into your pocket. So it's important to know these.
15-day deadline, don't forget that.
15 days.
All right, so this other scenario is if you are injured on someone else's property.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, let's talk a little bit about this. Again, we're looking at the same thing. We're looking at the Medpay to see if that's there.
Okay.
And now the Medpay obviously does not cover, and I think we have a graphic that we can talk about it, but the Medpay is on the insurance of the property owner.
Now, so Medpay, is that something that you have to make sure you get, or is that just standard when you buy a home? It just comes with, you know, your homeowner's insurance and all of that, or?
It's generally standard.
Okay.
And now Medpay, when you're on the property of another, really kicks in and pays whether they're at fault or not. So this initial, whether it's $5,000 or $10,000, will kick in. But you have to ask for that. Then,
so even though it's standard, we all have it, you have to make sure you ask for it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And on this Medpay, it's important to get that out because a lot of people don't have health insurance, and that pays for at least the medical bills. Then you go to, again, your health insurance and then Medicaid or Medicare. The other thing that's important to know is some people that are injured, if there isn't Medpay there, they go directly to a hospital. And if they go directly to a hospital has to treat them, especially if they're severely hurt. Now, the hospital can file a lien with the Secretary of State. And what that is it gives notice to the world that if there's ever a settlement on your personal injury, what they're going to do is the insurance company is going to do this. It's called a UCC1 search. And they do that. They see this hospital lien and they say, all right, we're not writing any bills until you take care of this hospital lien. Now let's talk about one other thing. And I know we're jumping through this kind of quickly, but it's important to know. A lot of people don't have any insurance. And so there are facilities out there that will treat you, and they'll treat on a lien so long as you have an attorney. And when you go through that route and you go through that treating of the facility, at the end, when you settle your case, there will be a lien with your attorney. And the money that you settle goes into a trust account, and at that point, it's dispersed out to the attorney, to the treating facility that you have a lien with, and also to you, whatever's left over.
It's kind of like, it sounds like a kind of like a layaway plan. Like you're hurt, but you don't have insurance. So I'm going to hire you, and I'm going to go get my medical care taken care of. And then when there's a settlement, then you guys get paid.
And
but in the meantime, I'm getting taken care of.
That's a great analogy. It's a layaway plan on your body.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that's important for people to know is really when you're in an accident or any type of injury, do not sign any medical releases, because if your health insurance is paying for anything, and we all know if you have health insurance, you get a bill and it says this is the amount that was billed, but our contracted rate is this, and so we're paying much less as your health insurance. Now, with the insurance company, you only show them the amount billed. You don't show them the amount paid. And the reason why for that is because you've paid these premiums for health insurance, right?
Right.
And so the person who caused you an injury doesn't get to benefit because you've been paying years for health insurance.
Exactly. That wouldn't be fair to me who've been paying my premiums. I get that. Yeah,
right. And
that
under
makes a lot of
Colorado,
sense.
that's called the collateral source doctrine. So make sure that you never sign these releases because they get all this information. They get not only the amount billed, but the amount paid.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Phil. We
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Now, if you have any legal questions for Phil, he does want to hear from you. Just go to coloradosbest.tv. You see his picture right there. Click on it. You could submit your own personal legal questions, and he does take the time to answer them personally. We do appreciate that. And he might even address your question right here on Colorado's Best. And if you would like to contact him personally at his office, here's the number, 303-762-9500. Or you can go to hlaw.org. Well, coming up on Colorado's Best, teen athletes